problem, and it solves it very practically and pragmatically. We're coming to the end of an exciting day. My pleasure to introduce Hakan. And rather than having you walk through a generic roadmap, new features, you saw a lot of exciting stuff and you saw it for real, I've asked him to run us through the things that we do, as crazy as they may be, for financial services. So Hakan, you have the last session, but not the least session, I might say.
So I'm always happy to be the last person attending because I can improvise and go off script, so no one knows what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the session with a question. Why Unblu? I think we heard a lot of stories today and insights, why certain things are done like that. We got a little bit history from Luc, thank you, how all the things started. And I thought it would be a nice thing to get an answer from an external person. So why Unblu? Unblu is the best fit. And I think that's the end of my session. So we don't have to go into the details. Jokes aside, so we were part of the latest Forrester wave, which is basically independent. They want to see the product. They don't accept any mock-ups, no demo systems. So you really have to show them the real product, and they can play around with it, ask questions, and grill you. And this was the outcome. So it doesn't say it's the best collaboration platform on the world for any purpose. It's the best fit for financial services. And complement with that, it's the most comprehensive conversation solution. And again, always in the context of financial industries. So that's why the focus there, what you see on top, is security and compliance. It's the interaction orchestration and the state-of-the-art integration. Because Forrester knows as well, banks do not have like islands. They have thousands of other systems around which help you to do your job. And if you cannot integrate, that's going to be like a single point solution. It's going to be difficult to really leverage any kind of benefits. And this is not something which is like describing the history of Unblu, but that's just the product version 8, the latest version. So they just look at a single time point. They do not know what happened before, how we came up to the spot. And I'm not going to repeat too much because Luc already alluded to the initial steps. But what I'm going to call out is how the whole industry for us has changed comparing like the era of 2012 to 2016. It was more like a support case. Clients have a question, you get them an answer. They're happy. You might have to support them with co-browsing, like the original technology we basically license, not license, sorry, where we have the license for. And this is it. So customer comes, you get rid of the customer because they're happy, everything is done. What happened in 2017 is, and to know like the history, we did not have a focus before that on financial industries only. It just happened to be banks because we're in Switzerland. So that was our lucky kind of positioning from a country selection. But in 2017, one of our banks said, hey, you know what? It's not just about support. I don't need to have like call center logic. This is working, all is good. What I need is, I need a replacement for WhatsApp. We have a problem there. Can you build something where I can talk to my clients in an asynchronous way like WhatsApp? And this is basically where it hit us. Banks do not have the same requirements as other industries. There's like special things you need to address, special complexities. It's a lot based on trust. So it's a relationship you have with the clients. It's not like an online shop where you order. If you're not happy, you send it back and you order again next time. So here, trust is very important. So you have to make sure to really have a means to engage with the client, to have a relationship with your client and give them advice when they need it, not just answer questions. Jumping forward, more coming today, what then happened is with the focus on financial industries, all the compliance and security features were only focusing on financial industries. So we were not looking at other markets. We were only building features which make sense for you as customers. So that's why when you ask for a feature, we always have to understand why. So why do you need this feature? Sometimes it's like a question, I need a button there. Why do you need this button? What do you want to do with it? Is this the best way? And does it make sense for the wider audience? Does it make sense for Luis? Does it make sense for Anton? Because the requirements are different. Does everyone need to be able to click on this button? What happens when you click on this button? Do we need to consider any kind of regulation? Is the button appearing in all countries you're present? So These are the questions we always go through, and it might be annoying if you want to have like a quick feature and quick change, can I have here something? But we really want to understand the business need, so we can build it in a way that it's still compliant, that we don't build in something which poses new risk, that we don't build something which basically opens the portal for any kind of compliance issues, right? This is not something you want to jeopardize. And if in the AI theme, what we see here as well, 2019, that was our first kind of handshake with AI. That was with Post Finance. They said, hey, we have a contract with an AI provider. Can we integrate? We said, okay, we have an API for you. So we were not interested in doing anything ourselves back then. That was really giving the possibilities to leverage the technologies you have in-house. And from there, the focus really went on saying, okay, maybe AI is not something we should completely ignore. We know what our clients want. How can we leverage? So with version 7, version 8, the whole AI topic got more intense, and it went beyond just chatbots. The other part, though, like the security and compliance part, is still key. So we had a lot of features like message interceptors. There was a topic of data leakage in banks. How can you avoid that? And it's not about criminal energy necessarily, but we are all humans. We make mistakes. We send the wrong documents to the wrong person, and you need to be able to intercept them. It's a bank. It's not WhatsApp. It's not like you do whatever you want and there are no consequences. After COVID, the whole remote advice was a big thing. Oh, we need video. Okay, let's do that. The consequence is we need to record it. In which countries are you allowed to record? In which countries you have to record? How long do you have to keep it? So these kind of topics is basically, if you go back to the initial quote, why Unblu for financial services and why it's the best fit is because we do these kind of questions. And the same logic applies to the whole AI theme. So, of course, as David mentioned, connect ChatGPT, everyone is happy, there's a bubble happening there and you can ask questions, is probably not going to help you directly. It's fun, you can play around with it, and after 2 months you stop it because the compliance officer basically is in front of your door. So to sum up, if you look at today, where we are and what's coming next, so at the end, I'm a product guy. I really want to show you some insights on what's coming this year or the next year to 25, is the preparation we made so far. So we have the exclusive focus on financial industries. I think this is already clear. That's a client event. We only have colleagues from banks and related financial industries. We have strong partnerships, so we play in the ecosystems which you already use. We built the fundamentals, so that's just the basic. I think there, you say we have like a good basis, and now we can take this basis to the next level because we have conversational data. So far, we were not doing too much with it. You saw a little bit from David's demo that you get a summary and everything, but I think this is not where we want to stop, where we say, the way we helped initially in 2012 to give you support, or later with secure messaging, is exactly how we want to approach AI as well. On the top part, this is the part I'm going to go more into deep. Of course, we are not going to ignore the partnerships. So we heavily still build on partnerships on the ecosystems, and we want to do the multi-channel platform approach. We want to deepen that, make it better, as you saw in the example just before this session. But if we come to the whole AI, there is like 2 buckets which are very interesting for us to target. One is the wealth space. So it's not like the chatbots. It's not about answering questions, retail. Of course, this is important. And I think this is already commodity today. This is possible, this works. And we saw that with Beeper. It's about wealth space where we still have concerns, where things are maybe more delicate, where you need the human interaction even more than in other spaces. And the reporting capabilities. There was a question before about can we report exactly. And the reporting capabilities. So if we put all this together, at the end, what we have is we want to use the data, which we already have, which you as client have from your clients to automate tasks. I think this is a valid point. Whatever you don't have to do manual, you can automate, and that's pretty simple, and you get a lot of benefit from that. The more important, more insightful thing is to use the data to get insights and know your clients. So we already saw in David's example, there was like some summary, there was some kind of insights, the wife's name and things like that. But the thing is, you need to get this as well on an ongoing basis based on the interaction you have with the client. So if the client mentions, oh, I had a car accident today, maybe this is something worthwhile to know, because next time he talks, like, hey, what's with the car? Have you fixed it? Do you need any help? Do you need any kind of support in something? Because it can create some reminders based on the context you had with the client. And I think this is something very valuable, specifically if you are working in wealth space where you have a relationship with the client. Of course, normally you remember that, but you have as well a deputy, you have an assistant, and they all should be aware about the same kind of interactions if they are allowed to. And again, this is like the complexity we have to solve. Who's allowed to see which kind of information, what data is going to AI, what is staying within the systems, and can you control it that maybe I see it, but you don't see it. I'm not going to talk about the bottom ones, but rather give you some examples about use cases. So what we did now is spend some time with a couple of clients and with our internal discussion, brainstorming, saying, what kind of capabilities do we think make sense? And we saw some like the first steps about transcript. Of course, this makes sense. But what I want to have is I want to have all the data which is relevant at the time I need it. And this can be from previous conversations, from other systems, and in a condensed way that I can really read it quickly, scan it through when I interact with the client. I want to have meetings prepared. This apparently is one of the big things where everyone hates to do it. So I think this is like an area where you can show your employees as well, okay, if you use these channels, someone is going to do the meeting prep for you by giving a summary, preparing all the documents, listing all the talking points, maybe doing some compliance checklist, all the things you basically do not want to do, and it costs you a lot of time and doesn't add value personally for you. Contextual information. So what we heard from David as well is like you need to be aware about the context. It's not just about answering one question, but answering the question with the context of the client, of the history, and all the questions before. So it doesn't make sense to offer a product to a client if the client said already 3 days ago, I'm not interested in this product. So you might say, I know you are not interested in this product, but we have a new kind of variation of it. You don't want to ask him, are you interested in product? And the client says, no, you asked me already 3 times, I'm not interested. So that's why I think this is very powerful to use the data and really to have a personalized kind of interaction with your client without the client knowing that AI is behind. That's the important thing. So this is for the employees. That's not for the clients which interact with you. They just talk to you as they're used to or chat with you. And at the same time, I get like all this information whispered in my ear. And it's like, hey, this is a summary last time. Ask him about this. This is the document you should share. And this is, I think, very important to, from a compliance perspective as well, afterwards to not only see this data, document it properly, store it in the right systems, and that you don't have to do these manual steps anymore. Because from one of our private banking clients, they gave us the feedback saying, for each 1 hour I spend with a client, I almost spend 1 hour for post-processing and preparation, and sometimes even more. So if you can get rid of this part as much as possible, you have double the time you can spend with your client. And I think that's very valuable. It's not about to automate and fire people. It's to make them more productive, to have more valuable kind of insights, and to use the technology for your advantage. One thing I was called out to mention, because it's very futuristic, and we didn't want to show that today, if you go back to our origins with the co-browsing, we even worked on an automated AI-based mobile co-browsing support. So what you can imagine there is you as a client, you ask the chatbot certain questions. Where do I find this document? And historically, what you would do is you send them a reference, a link. You can find this document under this page. The client clicks on it, goes over. And then it's like, oh, we're on that page. Hey, chatbot, where is this document you mentioned? It's like, which document? I don't know what you're talking about, because the reference is gone, the context is lost, right? So now what we do is, it doesn't send you the link, it guides you through. It's like, dear customer, here's the mouse, you have to click here. So visually indicating, okay, I click on this one. And then it's like, okay, now you scroll down to the page, click here. And this is AI-based. It's not something as in history, like historical kind of functionalities where you had to train this step with a single point, like this is the pixel you have to click, and then if there's a question, you click on this pixel. Of course, it's possible, but you spend 10 people just training and highlighting pixels because the website contents keep on changing. Like that, you basically do not have to do that. You just have the technology. Technology understands what the client is looking at, and this works perfectly on a mobile device, which most of the clients are using nowadays. And the last thing I want to highlight is the compliance. So again, the compliance is twofold. One is functionality. So what we want to use AI for is compliance check. Is this client allowed to be offered this product, or do I have to do something else? Make a compliance check and say, hey, you have to mention this points. You have to go through this list before you can offer. You have to get this in this document and this signature, and then you're free to basically share this document. And you can even link that, saying only if you go through the steps, the system will give you the document, and then you can share it automatically. The other part of the compliance is all the discussions you will have with your CISOs and security officers about AI versus the data and whatever. So we will figure out a way from our side to give you the confidence that the data you have there is not suddenly going all over the internet and you start losing information and everything is leaked. Because getting the advantage of having AI but losing all the data, the risk benefit is not going to work out, and you will have the CISO basically shutting down the project. So that's why we will have compliance feature built in saying, okay, here, this is what is happening with your data. This part is going out. This is anonymized. When it comes back, it's augmented again with the original data within our system and not through the AI. That basic the information which goes out is random. So these are the things we are working on just to give that to you, like the confidence that you can use new technologies in this industry. And with that, I think I'm perfectly on time. I didn't steal too much time for the apero. If you have any questions about what you can expect now, so David said what he has shown is about to be released. This is 2025, and we will start releasing these features throughout the course of the year. And what I want to call out is, so we are going to reinitiate our custom advisory board, where some of you are already members, so we'll reach out to you to reinitiate that. And I'm calling anyone who's interested as well to more have AI focus, AI topics, that we can have like a customer representation there as well, that we can go this journey together to validate the ideas, that you can tell us what you really need, what the pain points are. So you can reach out to me or to any Unblu colleague. You have the names. And with that, I'll hand off to you.
Thank you. Bravo.